I'm literally about to pull the whiteboard up and show Edward how we follow up. We follow up.
Awesome.
Yeah. But the first thing is like, do not neglect follow up. That's the first rule. Don't neglect it. Because you got to realize, guys, most people are lazy or most people are forgetful. So what they'll do is they'll do the outreach, but they'll give up after the first message. You don't read it. So that's your competition. It's not a high bar to meet. So the first thing, share the screen. Follow up principles. This could be this is mostly DM, but you can take some of the lessons through to things like cold calling and sales, I guess. So or email even. So first rule, don't neglect follow up. Do it. There's a reason why people say money isn't the follow up. Sometimes there's a statistic that's been floating around where people buy on average after like the fifth or sixth follow up or seventh even. And that could mean either like directly, literally a follow up, or it could be like multiple different touch points. So maybe you send your outreach, and then maybe the second time you do follow up, and then maybe they come across you again on like Twitter, and then they see you like the post, and then they see like it could mean a lot of different things, but that's what the statistic is floating around. So it takes for some people, like it's gonna be a slow burn before they actually finally like give you the response you want. So do not neglect follow up. Do it. First thing. Second thing is people ask me all the time, how many times should I follow up? Now, it's going to depend on a lot of things, but what I've seen work best, because I want to with follow up, you want to just like strike the balance between being persistent, but not needy. That's pushy. So how do we do that exactly? Okay, so the amount of times I usually follow up that I've seen best work for me is 2 to 4 times. We'll say 3 to 4 actually, if you really want to push it. I think 4 is like the max on me before I move on, right? So 3 to 4 times is what I've seen personally work best for me. 3 to 4 times. And then what do we do in those 3 to 4 times? Let me actually pull up the document. I have a whole document to follow up. So let me actually just pull that up. And if you guys have any questions, just interrupt anytime. It's fine. Message. Awesome. Okay, you see my screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is just like a free document that I just throw around sometimes. So actually, no, let me pull up the PDF, Art of Appointment Setting. You guys know what that is?
The one you made?
No.
Yeah, the one I made.
Art of Appointment Setting?
The Art of Appointment Setting. It's like a cheat. It's like literally, it's like a cheat sheet. It's a cheat sheet for appointment setting. This took me, yeah, it's everything. This has everything. I'll give you guys, I'll actually link it in the Slack channel for the new guys. I'll give it to them for free, but usually I'm selling it for like $67.
Your shit.
Because it's like an e-guide. So, get some passive income on the side. But basically, follow-ups and confirmation. Yeah, let's actually run through this. So basic etiquette for follow-ups. The money's in the follow-up, so don't neglect it. Each follow-up should be spaced further from the last and create more urgency. So what does that mean? That basically means, let's say your first follow-up. You send your initial message. They don't see it or they don't read it. Space further from the last and create more urgency. So what you don't want to do is 2 things. You don't want to, send every follow-up the same time space from each other. So 24 hours, and you send the second one 24 hours, because now you're treading over that fucking like persistent. And then no, not persistent. Timid or tentative, and then too needy and pushy. So the balance you want to strike is like right here. 24 hours, if you're just spamming every 24 hours or 48 hours, then that's gonna, of course, that's gonna lead to you looking very needy, and then therefore they won't respect you and will probably never want to do business with you. Okay, so that's what you don't want to do. But then you also don't want to be too tentative, or like, let's say, the reason I put create more urgency is because if you don't create enough urgency, then you're just going to be sending like these a lot or question marks, or you're just going to be too nice or not put or too tentative. Like you're not really creating urgency. You're not really demanding a definite answer, because that's what we want, guys. We want a definite answer, even if that means a no. Like I'd rather get a no than a no response or a wishy-washy response, because it just saves us both time. If it's a no, that's fine. We don't take it personally. We move on. So if we combine the two, yeah, exactly. And if we combine the two, what that's going to look like in follow-up, and this is my framework basically. Where is it? Oh yeah, we'll do it here. So this is what I actually do to follow up on a day-to-day basis. It's what I use today. So the first initial message, let's say they don't see it. 24 hours later, I send the first follow-up. Like it's nice and quick. Okay, cool. Did you just either send this, like an upwards arrow, just reminding them of the last message, or a question mark, something very simple, nothing too pushy or demanding, right? Let's say they still don't read it. We'll do it 48 hours after. You say something like, and you see how it just autofills, because I save these, I use it all the time. So I put it in like text replacement or text shortcuts. So I just say something like, hey, sure you got busy, or you could say something like, just bumping this up. I hope everything okay. Something like that. So do you see where I'm going, guys? It's a bit more, getting a bit more urgency. We're gradually turning up the urgency. Like we're just trying to figure out what's going on, see if they're actually interested or not, or if they just got busy. Right. And then this is 48 hours after this first one. So that's you're spacing it out bigger than the last message.
Do you want to try to keep it as simple too? Like the message?
Say that again.
So you want to try to keep the message as simple as possible too?
It's more about like urgency, just demanding urgency. So you're going to slowly turn up the dial a bit. So now 72 hours later, does that make sense, Edward?
Yeah, it does. The urgency is the thing.
Yeah, and then if we do, yeah, you could say that. You could say, or you can do this for, there's no right or wrong. That's what people hate or people love. Like there's no right or wrong. It's just like what you see, what you think works for you. So you could send this as a third follow-up, just bumping this up, bro. Or you could say, you can start turning up the dial now for the urgency. Say something like, what I used to say is, are you no longer interested? Or just let me know that. Just let me know. So now we're striking that balance between being persistent, because we're still following up. We're still following up with them. We haven't abandoned the mission, but we're not being needy. You know, the spacing out of things is helping it not seem too needy and pushy. And actually, a lot of business owners, if they're dialed in, which most people are, they'll respect you for following up with them. They'll actually respect you for doing it. You are not annoying them. The only ones who get annoyed are the ones who are in flow zones, right? Or maybe just have a bad day. But the actual high-level business owners, I'll tell you a story after this about follow-up. But the high-level ones, they actually will respect you for doing this. Okay, so they're all making mental notes in their head, whether they see it or not. And then the last one, you could, if you really want to push, which I recommend you should. So this is like what, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, say 5 days after. You could draw like, this is like where you just want a yes or no. You just want to answer at this point, like an ultimatum. So it could be something like, just let me know if there's no interest, so I won't keep following up. Or you could say something like, I saw this one from Twitter. Shit, what was it? It was something like, let me know if you're no longer interested, and if you changed. Oh, no. Just say, I think it went like, hey, if you changed direction, that's fine, but just let me know. Just let me know.
So it's okay to be direct on like the last day, basically.
Be direct, yes. Be direct on the last one. That makes sense, guys. So this is it's a slow burn. We're being persistent, and yet we're not being too needy and pushy up until like the last bit. It's like we want an ultimatum at this point. We don't want to waste time with one individual, right? And then you're gonna rinse and repeat this for everyone, right? And I'll show you how to do that too. It seems it's actually easier than it looks. But is this all making sense, guys? Any questions?
No. Okay.
Cool. Here's another thing. Don't make assumptions. Or just try and withhold your assumptions. I don't know if this applies to you guys. Probably doesn't. Hold some, right? You can't get annoyed at these people, right? They're probably busy. They get hundreds of DMs per week, per day even, right? So there's a big chance they don't actually see your message. That's fine. And that's completely fine. We can't just assume that they do it on purpose, because most of the time people don't do it on purpose. If they do it on purpose, then that shouldn't bother you either way. You don't take it. Business is not personal. Maybe it's just not the right fit, but they just don't want to be direct enough to tell me. That's fine. You move on. So withhold assumptions. Most of the time, people do it accidentally. They don't respond back to you on purpose, right? So that's the fourth rule. And then, yeah, it's just like the business owner will actually respect you more for following up multiple times. Yeah, in any scenario, they'll actually respect you.
Okay.
So I'll tell you guys a little story. This was back in Thailand when I was living in Thailand. So like 3 months ago.
Is there internet in Thailand?
Is
there internet in Thailand?
Oh yeah. We were living in a sick ass villa. I'll show you. It's in my story highlights.
Oh, for sure.
It was sick. It was great. Great. That's what it was.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No, I only asked because I'm planning our friends want to plan a trip there, but I still have
Do it, G.
Have the work, so I want to make sure I have internet to be working. So I was like,
bro, I'll help you out with that. I help you guys make the move, because that's exactly what I did. I found like I brought 2 other friends with me who I've never met. Well, I've met the first one briefly because we actually complete coincidence. I just met him so I met both these guys through an online community.
Sure.
The first one I just met through like this nomadic, like travel nomad, whatever, entrepreneur group on Discord. I met him. He had the same plans as me. So like, yeah, bet, let's just do it together. Let's fully send it. Cool. And he's from the Netherlands. So I never met him before prior to Thailand.
Dude, that villa looks sick.
I'll show you pictures. Later. But and then the second guy.
Where you're at right now?
No, not right now. That's,
I was about to say,
bro, if I was here right now, trust me, the view, I would have been flexing it so hard, G. I would have just been like, man, it would have been right behind me, dude. But that was literally my view. That was literally where I was staying from March to June. So I think it was way before you guys got in the program. But if you look at my story highlights, you can see that I was there. But it was great. I had the time of my life. And we made money too. So the second guy, I met through another group that I invested in, just a mentor. And I kid you not, he was in sales too, but he was also based in the UK. That's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is, so when I was living in UK at the time, because that's where I grew up, he was literally living in the town next to mine.
Yeah, small world, dude.
Small fucking world. So the dude's in sales. We're a similar age. He's from the UK. And he's literally in the town right next to me. And it could have been anywhere. Because the UK, like, yeah, it's not as big as like Canada or US, but like it's big. Like there's different places, not just London, Team Crumpets. But there's certain places. He could have been in any one of those places. He could have been up in Scotland. He could have been in Birmingham. He could have been elsewhere, right? He's in the fucking town right next to me. And I met him online. Never met the guy before. So when we found that out, he was like, yeah, let's grab a coffee. Let's get something to eat. Let's get to know each other. And then, yeah, after we just had one meeting in real life. Actually, no, two meetings in real life. And then after that, I just invited him. Let's go to Thailand, bro. Let's do it. 3 months. Sick ass villa. Let's split it between us three. And it's like, yeah, let's do it. And yeah, we had the time of our lives. So small world, eh? Small world. But where was I? Oh yeah, the story. So when I was in Thailand, actually I've been connected with this other guy, this business owner. I think he's been doing like 50K months. He helps people grow on Instagram or grow like personal brand on Instagram. He's a killer, and he needed a setter. So he reached out to me. He was like, hey man, if you have any setters, just send them through. So I was like, bet, yeah, let's do it. I put it in the opportunities channel. And then, like, yeah, people reached out for sure. But what really disappointed me, and actually disappointed him a bit, was he noticed that people would reach out to him, which is fine, but then they wouldn't follow up after. And then he actually addressed me like 3 days later after our meeting. Yeah, so I just noticed your guys, like, yeah, they send the messages, and I'm like, maybe hop and post with them, but they either haven't followed up, or they haven't even responded back. So, and that probably was a deal breaker for him. I don't know. We're still cool. Don't get me wrong, but he made a mental note of that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I understand. So then I was pretty pissed off about that, to be honest. So I just go in the announcements channel, and I have to address it to everyone. Like, guys, you got to follow up. This is basic etiquette. You have to follow up, even if you're just hunting for a position. Doesn't matter, because when you're in the DM, you're gonna have to follow up too, right? It's etiquette. But the fact that you didn't follow up, that business owner who's doing 50K a month, who's actually will give you a good opportunity, he made a mental note of that. He's probably not going to want to get a setter from me anymore, or us. I don't know. I haven't asked, but that's a big learning lesson. So you guys need to make it a priority just as much as the initial message, because they make, as I said earlier, they make mental notes of that, and they'll respect you more if you actually do it. So don't be lazy, don't be forgetful. I know it's boring, it's the boring work, but it's what's going to get you where you want to go. So that's that. Yeah, that's that. That kind of pissed me off in the moment. It doesn't piss me off anymore, but it's like, it could have been avoided so easy.
Yeah, you still sound mad.
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking back to it now, like in the moment. You guys fumbled the bag, bro. Yeah, these guys are doing 50K a month. I've known him for years now. I've known him for years. He's a killer. He's probably got a sick opportunity for you, and yet you didn't want to follow up with the guy. And he noticed that. Okay, that's why I said these high-level business owners, they'll respect you more, and they'll make a note of it if you follow up, because they know the game.
For sure.
They don't want people, because again, and then here's the thing, right? Because if he like picturing, I think from his state of mind, or his frame of mind, he's thinking like, okay, what they're gonna do here is what they're pretty much gonna do when we actually like work together. So if he notices that you're not following up with him and trying to get the position, he's gonna notice that, he's gonna think that you're not gonna be following up diligently once you're actually in his DMs and actually working for him, and then you're just gonna leave a lot of money on the table, and then he's not gonna like that. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, guys.
It does. I added it to my stuff that I'm gonna be doing. When
Cool. And even in like sales professionals too, they like if you got nothing else to do, if you're not on the phone closing deals, it's actually really good. What's gonna separate you from other closers is you following up with the old leads and getting them, trying to get them on the phone again. So like Edward, for example, you're playing a hybrid right now, I think. Like in between a setter and a closer.
Yeah, he wants me to do both. So he's training me.
Yeah. But like with like the top sales professionals that I've seen, they take on the role of a setter kind of. So what they'll do, like the people they've had calls with in the past, they'll just follow up with them. Let's say they have they're twiddling their thumbs, they're not doing much that day. They'll just hit the follow-ups. They'll hit up like the old leads and then try to get them on the phone again. Because circumstances can change over time. What happened 2 months ago? Let's say they were too busy, but now they're ready. We don't know that if you don't ask. So that's what and then what's that? Like an easy 10K added revenue, 20K. It actually puts money on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, just to recap, don't neglect follow-up. Please strike the balance between persistence and not being needy. 3 to 4 times. Again, this is what worked for me personally. You're gonna have to see what works for you, and that's only gonna come with repetition. 3 to 4 times is what I've seen work for me, and then withhold assumptions. And then the 5th thing, obviously, is biz owners will respect you for. And of course, you're going to get people telling you to fuck off, but that's fine because they're not going to be good people to work with anyway, right? So they saved you a bunch of time. You don't take it personally. Cool.
Question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Follow up is that like 24 hours? So let's say Monday, and then when you say 48 hours, you follow up on Wednesday or like.
So you send let's say this was on Monday.
Yeah.
This would be Tuesday. And again, these are arbitrary numbers. This is but you can just copy and paste it if you want in the beginning. It could be Tuesday. It's going to be Thursday.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I'll show you how to actually do this in scale. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can do this on Saturday or Sunday even, or you can do it Monday. Doesn't matter. We'll say Sunday. And let's say so. It is a long process, but it's not hard to do because you're just sending messages. You just copy paste it at this point. So Sunday, say this was on a Thursday, right?
Okay, so you're saying so you space out the follow-ups, but you create urgency in the contacts.
Yeah, so each one is spaced out further from the last, but you're turning up the dial each time you follow, like in terms of urgency. You're trying to get a more definite answer. Reason why is because if we just try and get a definite answer here, you can come across as too abrasive. Let's say they actually just got busy. Now you just pissed them off because you told them, hey, tell me if you want to do this or not, bitch. But if you're being too tentative, if you're not being direct, then they're not going to respect you as well. Like even after here.
Okay.
So persistence without being too needy and pushy.